According to engineer Ron Allum, it is improbable that the lost tourist submarine would have undergone a complete catastrophic implosion. Nonetheless, partial flooding might be obstructing its ability to resurface. Based on the assessment of a deep-sea engineer who created the submersible used by James Cameron to reach the deepest part of the Earth, the absence of the Titan submersible is unlikely due to a major damage to its pressure hull. Ron Allum, a proficient oceanic engineer and adventurer from Australia, was one of the co-designers of the Deepsea Challenger submersible. This submersible enabled Cameron to achieve the unprecedented feat of reaching the Mariana Trench's deepest point on Earth's seabed in 2012. In 2005, Allum collaborated with Cameron for his documentary Last Mysteries of the Titanic. Underwater, sound travels with high efficiency, according to Allum, and the resulting implosion could have far-reaching effects, as it could be heard up to thousands of miles away and recorded. It's probable that an implosion would stimulate detections in military hydrophones, which are instruments used to either record or listen to sounds below the surface of the water. Allum suggested that the sub's pressure hull remains intact, but suggested that it has lost power. Consequently, the Titan submarine is expected to have automatically released weights in order to resurface. On Sunday, the tourist submarine that was exploring the Titanic wreck lost its communication in the northern parts of the Atlantic Ocean. In case the vessel is located, the duration needed for retrieval will be dependent on its location and existing condition. Allum cautioned that in the event that the pressure hull is filled with water, the weight of the vessel's dry mass will need to be considered because it could be a substantial amount. He said that if the object were undamaged, a remotely operated vehicle could dock onto it and lift it to shallower waters where a more robust cable could then hoist it out. However, this operation may last up to 1 or 2 hours. The remotely operated vehicle might encounter difficulties maneuvering around the wreckage. As a result, it could take several hours to detach the submersible from the seabed. According to Allum, the inability of the submersible to surface during an emergency could be due to the failure to release its drop weights, compounded by partial flooding of the pressure hull. If there is water in the pressure hull, it occupies a significant space. Despite the drop weights being relatively small, they could be responsible for keeping it submerged. If the occupants are situated in a semi-submerged pressure hull, it can have disastrous consequences, which include hypothermia. It is also uncertain how effective the CO2 scrubber systems would perform in the presence of water. According to Dr. Glenn Singleman, an expert in extreme medicine from Australia who has explored the wreckage of the Titanic, the potential issues of insufficient oxygen and an increase in carbon dioxide levels are a cause for concern for the occupants of the lost submersible. According to the expert, in order to maintain the internal environment, it is important to regulate the oxygen flow, eliminate carbon dioxide, and control water vapor. Additionally, monitoring the water temperature is also crucial, as it can be as low as 0 to 1 degree Celsius. Singleman has provided medical expertise for various deep-sea exploration endeavors, such as Cameron's documentary on the Titanic, the Deepsea Challenger expedition, and the 5 Deeps expedition led by Victor Vescovo. To maintain air quality and prevent carbon dioxide buildup, submersibles employ scrubbers, typically composed of soda lime, that effectively remove CO2 from the atmosphere. Singleman explained that the issue arises when you reach a saturation point and need to replace the soda lime. He also mentioned that when the CO2 content in the air increases, people start experiencing symptoms, saying that typical symptoms include hyperventilation, headaches, and an overall feeling of illness. A Canadian plane conducting a search for the submarine in the Atlantic Ocean picked up on and off banging sounds emanating from the area where the submarine was last spotted. Nevertheless, the origin of the noise remains unknown. Guillermo Sonline, co-founder of OceanGate, holds the view that the occupants of the Titan submersible that has gone missing have a greater amount of time at their disposal than is generally believed. According to Mr. Sonline, the team, including OceanGate's CEO Stockton Rush, on board the submarine would have learned earlier to conserve supplies and increase the chances of being rescued by staying calm and relaxed. According to the crew members' expertise, the period available for rescue operations is more extended than the common belief. Mr. Sonline clarified that he was expressing his personal views and not the official stance of OceanGate. According to him, Thursday is going to be a significant day to carry out the search and rescue operation. The oxygen supply on the lost Titanic tourist submarine was projected to be exhausted on Thursday, which has raised questions as to whether the search and rescue operations by the US Coast Guard will be terminated. Usually, in scenarios where an individual or a group of individuals are stranded in the midst of an ocean, the Coast Guard designates a mission coordinator to oversee the search and rescue operation. Nevertheless, in situations where there is no probability of the individual being alive or recoverable, the mission is aborted. Currently, the United States Coast Guard is in the process of continuing its search and rescue mission for the group of 5 individuals who were on board a 22-foot submersible. While conducting the search and rescue operation, Rear Admiral John Morger of the US Coast Guard said that the crew members and their families are in the forefront of our mind. They are also aware of the time constraints and have taken into account various data and information. He stated that the search and rescue operation is still ongoing, and they are currently utilizing remotely operated vehicles on the seabed to increase their search and rescue capabilities. The remotely operated vehicles not only enhance the search operation, but also provide rescue potential. The last text message from a British billionaire who was aboard the submersible that disappeared beneath the waters off Newfoundland on Sunday indicated that the weather conditions leading up to the expedition had been unfavourable for sea travel. The day prior to the sub's launch by OceanGate Expeditions, Hamish Harding, a well-known explorer, conveyed a message to his acquaintance and retired NASA astronaut Terry Virts, detailing his remarkable expedition to explore the legendary shipwreck at a depth of 12,500 feet below sea level. In the text message, Harding said that the crew is heading out tomorrow, but noted that the weather has been bad. When speaking with news outlets, Virts expressed that he and his thrill-seeking companion do not typically discuss potential risks associated with their activities. Virts said that Harding was undoubtedly aware of the potential risks involved with this expedition. Virts continued by saying that he descended to the Mariana Trench, the deepest point in the ocean, where he achieved several world records, and said that during their conversation, they discussed the risks and capabilities associated with his exploration, and said that he was enthusiastic about the endeavor. Harding expressed his eagerness for the upcoming journey on Instagram, exactly one day before the expedition departed. As one of the 6 astronauts on the Blue Origin mission last year, he's no stranger to exploration. Harding, a record-breaking adventurer, has completed several expeditions to the South Pole, including one with the oldest person to ever reach the pole, retired Apollo astronaut Buzz Aldrin. With 3 Guinness World Records under his belt, Harding is well known for his daring feats. Harding is currently trapped in a submersible with Shahzada Dawood, a prominent Pakistani businessman, as well as 3 other individuals, one of whom is Dawood's son. The private company that initiated the vessel, OceanGate Expeditions, is providing individuals with private expeditions to explore the Titanic wreck site for a fee of $250,000 per person. The organization promotes its 8-day expedition to the Titanic as an opportunity to break away from the mundane routine and encounter something truly exceptional. The craft, that has no capability to dive or independently return to its base like a submarine, was declared missing on Sunday evening because it did not come back to its support vessel on schedule. Coast Guard officials announced on Monday evening that they have a limited time of only 70 to 96 hours to find the lost submarine and save the 5 passengers on board before their oxygen supply is depleted. If successful, the upcoming search and rescue operation will be the deepest ever in history, as it's targeting an area approximately 900 miles offshore from Cape Cod, located at a depth of 13,000 feet. French President Emmanuel Macron has directed the research vessel Atlante to aid in the search for the lost Titan submarine, which was used for tourist purposes in the context of the Titanic. News outlets reported a few hours ago that France had planned to deploy a vessel incorporating an underwater device with the ability to access depths of up to 4,000 meters, or 13 feet. The French Secretary of State informed news outlets that their desire is for the vessel to reach its destination as soon as possible. The expected time of arrival is Wednesday. He said that France had responded to the requests of American authorities in a time-sensitive situation that began on Monday night. Officials have said that before embarking on a perilous journey such as the descent to the Titanic's depths on Titan, numerous onboard systems must be reviewed and evaluated, and a multitude of environmental risks must be identified and analysed. According to Stefan Williams, a marine robotics professor at the University of Sydney, it is crucial to double-check everything before putting people at risk in such situations. Before submerging, a comprehensive checklist is conducted to ensure the safety of the submersible and its passengers. Although the specific details of the checks performed prior to the descent are unknown, standard checks and procedures were adhered to according to reliable sources. These checks are particularly important, given the intense pressure at a depth of 13,000 feet below sea level, equivalent to the depth at which the Titanic sank, and the risks of getting lost, considering the site's distance of nearly 400 miles from the coast of Newfoundland. According to experts in the industry, prior to going underwater, it is essential to carry out meticulous inspections on the submersible's structure and all of the mechanical and electrical systems of the vessel. The goal is to ensure that everything is in proper working order before diving commences. This includes validating that the ship's hull is strong, batteries are fully charged, and there are no electrical malfunctions or short circuits. So, what do you make of this recent news, and what do you think happened to this submersible? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.